But I think I will get started anyway. Um, as I said, as you have any questions, just put them in the chat. We have Barbara from ASU here to answer any questions. My colleague Mark from ISA is here. He'll be able to help with any questions that you have related to ISA, and we'll be able to provide some links as you need them. Otherwise, yeah, I hope you enjoy the session. We're here to just kind of tell you a little bit about ISA and hopefully get you guys abroad as soon as we can. So I will just start off by introducing myself. My name is Alex Alverson, and I am a regional director with ISA. I mostly work with a lot of states in the Midwest, but also kind of Arizona as well. So I'm kind of, one of the main contact people for ISA. So if you do have any questions, I have my contact information that I will be able to share with you at the end of the info session, and you can reach out to me directly if you like, and we can set up an info session. So keep that in mind. But we'll just get started here. So who is ISA? As you can see there, we're a leading provider in education abroad. We believe that study abroad is for everyone. So for that reason, we offer a very wide array of programming, whether that be study abroad, internships, service learning, research, virtual opportunities, and even Christian faith-based programs. We want to have all those opportunities because every student has different needs. Maybe you do want to do a traditional semester abroad. Maybe you need international experience for your major, but also an internship. Well, we can help facilitate that. We want to make sure that we can help you get those international experiences, whatever you desire and whatever your major or your program requires. We have programs in 30 different countries all over the world, as you can see on this slide. Everywhere where you see a country, that's where we have programs. So a lot of variety. And then with ASU specifically, these are our approved locations. It includes, like I said, a wide variety. In a lot of those countries, we have multiple sites. So definitely check out our website. There's a lot of great locations all over the world. And those are the ones that as an ASU student, you can go on. So as you can see, a lot of different countries. So what does ISA do? Well, we do, like it says, a little bit of everything. We're here to make this process as easy as possible. The way we do that is through a commitment of exceptional support. We have professionals that are here to help you support you throughout your entire journey, from step A all the way to the end. We have, right from the start, when you're trying to figure out your program that's going to fit your needs and your goals, we have people like me. We have our program advisors, our program managers that are going to be there to help identify, what a good location will be for you, a good program for you, maybe a good term for you, just to make sure that you're going to be able to get all those credits transferred and it's going to be the experience that you're looking for. They're going to help you with that application process and that pre-departure process and just support you up until your time abroad and throughout your time abroad. And then even with that, once you go abroad with ISA, we have on-site staff in all of our locations, and they're there to pick you up from the airport. They're going to bring you to your homestay. They're going to bring you or your dorm or wherever you're living in an apartment. They'll help you with, bring you along to cultural activities, excursions to various cities in your host country. And they're going to be there just to kind of support you with anything you need. If you have, we have 24/7 health and safety, and they can help, assist you to bring you to a medical facility should you need that. But they're there just as a resource during your entire time. And it doesn't stop there. Once you return back to the States, we have our alumni team, and they're there to help you kind of unpack your journey and maybe work through your resume, because now you're going to be wanting to use that experience to sell yourself, make yourself a more attractive job candidate, and they're there to help you kind of navigate that and be able to sell yourself the way that you need to in a job. So like it says there, we're here providing first-class support from the beginning all the way to the end. So why do we do it? Another important question. Most of us at ISA, we've traveled. A lot of us have studied abroad, and some of us have even worked abroad. We understand the immense impact that just traveling and studying abroad can have on a person's personal life and their professional life. And we've designed our programs to cultivate opportunities for discovery and to engage with the community. We think that there's a lot more to just being in a country. And we've been doing this for the past 30 years and have had the privilege of serving over 100,000 students. It's kind of our bread and butter. This is what we like to do. It's our passion. We want to make sure that you guys have experiences similar to what we've had. because we just believe that, that it's very valuable to have international education. And to that point, I actually did an ISA program myself back in 2014, 2015. I studied in Granada, Spain, which is in the south of Spain. And I just want to share a little bit about that, just so you can kind of get a little bit more context. So these are some of the things that I took away from my program abroad. So I studied for an entire academic year. I always push students, if you can go longer, it's always going to be better, in my opinion. You're going to gain a lot better experience. You're going to engage with the culture, with the people. The friendships that you're going to gain are going to become a lot stronger. The global perspective that you're going to gain, you're going to have maybe more opportunities to travel around, to talk to people that you wouldn't normally have opportunities to chat with. I still have, like it says there, made priceless relationships. I still talk with my host family in the top left. You can see that's my host family there that I stayed with. I still talk to the sisters on a regular basis, and we speak Spanish together, which is amazing. I think, as I said earlier, one of the most important things about studying abroad is making yourself a more attractive job candidate, aside from kind of just the personal experiences. There hasn't been one job interview that I've had since I've studied abroad where, my study abroad experience hasn't come up. That's really important to employers. They want to know what you learned. Maybe you gained independence there. Maybe it was your first time traveling abroad. Maybe now you're bilingual, or at least the second language that has improved greatly. Your cultural humility has improved, and you're able to kind of understand cross-cultural perspectives a little bit more. Being able to sell yourself in that capacity, I think, is extremely important. And one of the things that I gained from my study abroad experience that's really been beneficial. So to kind of add to that point, just in general, what we think at ISA, why you should study abroad, cultivate your cultural awareness. As I was saying, going to a new country that, you've maybe never been to before, or even just, being somewhere outside of your state, it's going to improve that cultural awareness, and it's going to help that shift to a more global thinking. Gain new perspectives on the world and history, flex your foreign language skills. If you're going to a country that speaks another language where English isn't their first language, that's a great opportunity to learn that language a little bit. And you're able to still take English courses in all of our program sites, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't practice that foreign language. Get comfortable outside your comfort zone. I think that one's really important just for personal independence. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's your first time out of the state. Maybe it's the first time out of the country. Maybe it's your first time going somewhere where English isn't the first language. I think that's a really great opportunity to get outside of your comfort zone. Grow in ways you never knew possible. And again, form lifelong cross-cultural friendships. Even so, I do have, like me personally, I made friends abroad, but I still have friends domestically in the United States that I still chat with as well. And I think it's great to just have those connections all over the world. So we're going to do just a little poll here. So if you want to write your answer in the chat. So this is 2 truths and a lie. Have you heard of these before? So the first one, A, many students don't have time to study abroad. B, only certain majors can study abroad. And C, you can't use financial aid with study abroad. So if you believe that one of those is the lie, please put it in the chat, and then we'll work through it. So you can just put A, B, or C. Maybe you think it's a couple of them. Maybe you think it's all of them. We'll just take about 30 seconds to just have you enter that in the chat, A, B, or C. We've got 1 vote for all of them are lies. All right, we'll wait just a little bit longer. If you don't answer, that's okay. But don't be shy in the chat. If you do have questions, like I said, Mark is there, Barbara is here to help answer any questions. So, hello, Dylan. All right, well, Acacia, I hope I said that your name right. It was a trick question. They are all lies, and we're going to work through both of those, or all 3 of those, over the next few slides. So the first one is that many students don't have time to study abroad. That's definitely a lie. And with ISA, we want to make sure that that's a lie, because every student, I think, has an opportunity to study abroad and deserves an opportunity to study abroad. So for that reason, we have programs that range anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks all the way up to an entire academic year. We have intensive months and J-term options that, so you can do an intensive month in the summer maybe, or J-term kind of in that interim time between the spring and fall semesters, or fall and spring semester. And we also have post-graduation internships. So if you're not able to make it happen, during your undergraduate time. We have post-graduation internships. You can get that experience before you enter the workforce. We want to make it happen for you no matter what. We understand that students have time commitments, work commitments, family commitments, and not everybody can go study abroad for 9 months. So that's why we have such a variety of program options, because we want to just make sure that we can fit into any schedule. So if you feel that your study abroad might not be an option for you, we recommend that you just chat with us and chat with your study abroad office, because we want to make it work. And a lot of these short-term programs are extremely budget friendly too, so that's something to keep in mind as well. The next one is that not every major can study abroad, and I think that's definitely a lie too. We have 855 programs to choose from, which I know is a lot, so don't get overwhelmed by that number. That's why we're here to help narrow that down, to help you pick the right one. But we have options for all majors: engineering, biology, exercise science, literature, education. Whatever your major is, we're here to work with you. And to that point, another great time to study abroad is if you still have some of your generals, because you can go take those generals in a foreign country, and those are generally pretty easy to transfer back as well, just because they'll kind of match with whatever that goal area at ASU is. So keep that in mind if you do still have some generals available, but we're here to accommodate all different types of majors. And we can chat about your academic and professional goals and how that fits into your schedule as well. And if you need specific courses to stay on track, and if you need certain experiences, maybe it is an internship, maybe it is service learning, we are here to help you find the right program. So as always, don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. The last one that's also a lie is about the financial aid piece, which definitely can be a bit daunting. I know that when I studied abroad, I probably would have put C for the lie. But here's some stats that we have that we think are really important. So 50% of ISA students use financial aid to pay for their program. If you're already using financial aid at ISU, it's likely that you can use those awards to go abroad as well. And hopefully we can maybe have Barbara chime in about that at the end, or if anybody has any questions to kind of talk about that financial aid piece. But even to that point, over 75% of ISA students receive a grant, scholarship, or discount directly from ISA for their program. So that's something to consider. There's a really great opportunity to kind of reduce the price. We have a bunch of scholarships on our website that we recommend you go check out. ASU has scholarships. There are national scholarships like the Gilman, for example. There's a lot of ways to help reduce that cost. And we definitely recommend that you do it, because I'm sure you're all blue in the face from hearing and lots of people say apply for scholarships, but that's one of my biggest regrets, is not applying for as many scholarships as I would have liked to. So I definitely, I'm going to keep harping on that to apply. I'm sure your study abroad office will be harping on that too, but check out our websites. We also have budgeting tools, and payment plan options. So if you can't pay it all at once, we can kind of help split that up so it makes it a little bit easier financially. But again, as you can see, our number is right there. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out and call that number to kind of work through some of these things. So what's next? We want you to connect with ISA. That's kind of one of the first things that you're going to do, simultaneously connecting with your study abroad office. But right there we have our phone number, our email, and that's my direct email as well. So write that down, take a screenshot. You can email me directly, and we can set up an advising session. But like I said, while you're chatting with us, we definitely want you to chat with the study abroad office, confirm any requirements that the university has. I know that ASU has a study abroad 101 course that they'll need you to attend, but that's a great way to learn a lot about a lot of these different things, about financial aid, about how credits are going to be transferred. Likely you'll have to meet with an academic advisor to work through that credit transfer. That's super important. If you're going to go study for a semester and take 15 credits, we want to make sure that you're bringing 15 credits back to ASU and not 9. So that's really important to meet with the academic advisor and make sure those credits are going to transfer back. And that's all I have for you guys right now. We wanted to leave a good amount of time for any question and answer. And because we have a lot of good resources here, I'm here to help answer questions. Barbara can help answer specific questions about ASU. So please feel free to utilize the chat right now. We are ready to answer. And And again, that QR code is in the bottom right there. So that is our request info site on our page. So that's a really easy way to just, it'll bring you right to that site, put in just your name and major and a couple other things, and you'll get connected with one of our wonderful program advisors. Mark, did you have anything to add? Oh, I think you might be muted. Can you hear him, Barbara?
No, I'm not able to. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. It looks like you left.
Okay.
Well, maybe if you have anything to add, that would be great.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's anything that I was saying.
Financial aid is a great place to start. I did drop in our financing link to the chat field. That's a great place to start. We also host financing workshops. So if you were able to attend one of those yesterday or this morning, we also hold those every other Thursday. So it's never too early to start planning financially for a study abroad experience. So those and our Study Abroad 101s are really where we encourage everyone to start.
That's awesome. And I'm not sure if it was already in there, but I'm going to drop our scholarships in the chat as well, if you'd like to check that out. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in there, a lot of money out there, so apply.
Absolutely. The number one reason I would say people don't receive funding is because they don't hit the submit button. So make sure you're getting applications in. Does anyone have questions that we can help answer? As Alex mentioned, you will be receiving direct ASU credit for your experience, so you won't be missing a beat in terms of working towards your graduation requirements. Let us know.
Can you guys hear me now by chance or not?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, fixed it finally. Sorry about that, everyone. Good to see you, Barbara. Thanks, Alex. No, I mean, I think you've got a lot of wonderful choices on the ASU portfolio of programs. If you know, and I appreciate you coming out to learn a little bit more about ISA today. While we've got quite a comprehensive array of programs that are part of the ASU menu of offerings to you, know, as Barbara's saying, there's a team there that's ready to help guide you towards the right decision for you. But then we're also here not just for you, but for your parents. And while we're a large organization in terms of the breadth of our offerings, we pride ourselves on working closely with each individual student, because everyone's got different motivations and different factors that are going to play into their decision to study abroad, where they go abroad, what type of program, what to focus on. We really want to help you with every one of those steps along the path. So Alex has up on the screen now a few ways in which you can get a hold of us, but you can always just call and say, I'm thinking about this country versus that. Can I talk to somebody about it? If your parents are nervous about certain aspects of that, have their parents connect with Barbara's office or with ISA, and we'd love to connect with them as well. And when this pandemic slows down, we'll be back on campus, and we'd love to meet up with any of you there. But let's do so virtually in the meantime. There's a wealth of information on our website that we didn't pack into this presentation. But let me just stop yapping and see if there's any other questions that maybe you guys have for us. I think, as Barbara mentioned, it's not too early to start planning. So, you know, whether you're actually looking at this summer, there's still time, and we're optimistic about our programming all around the world in the summer, or whether you're a first-year student and you're looking for something that you're not sure when the best time is, but you want to make sure it fits into your program of study there at ASU. Both parties will be able to guide you towards when is that right window of time, depending on what your goals are. And I am both an ASU alum and a study abroad alum. I think unless you've done it, you've heard lots of people talk about it, but it's one of those kinds of things that you can't quite fathom how incredible it is until you actually take that leap of faith into an education abroad experience. So thank you for this being at least one step down that path.
We're dropping some links in there for you guys. That'll also hopefully help with how to start your search for study abroad opportunity. And do know through ASU, we do have applications open at this time for all of our ISA programs for summer 2021, fall 2021, as well as spring 2022. So as Mark said, it really is not too early to start planning for an upcoming experience. So we're here to help.
Early is always better. I definitely started planning way too late, and I had anxiety while I did it. So,
the other special thing, I think Barbara pointed out, you're going to get ASU resident credit for this, and there's been a lot of students who have gone before you, or academic departments on campus that have identified an ASU program, an ISA program, as particularly suitable to the major, and have gone ahead and predetermined course equivalency. So though the courses at our host universities might look a little different, you'll know in the process before going where you stand and how the courses would apply to your record back at ASU. And all the time, these are big universities with lots of offerings. We're also going to find courses that maybe you have interest in that we don't have an equivalency for yet at ASU. And that's where Barbara's office and others on campus will help determine what that is, so you know exactly where you stand. The last thing anyone here wants to do is delay graduation. So that's where the sooner you plan, the better. But even if you're looking at this summer, we can see what's left in your program of study and what your focus is going to be, and we'll help you narrow it down, because sometimes the list of choices can be overwhelming. We want to help you get to a short list. And of course, beyond those academics, we've all studied abroad, so we know one of the other motivations is just it's a blast. It's an incredible adventure, and we want you to have that adventure. The employers are going to want you to have that adventure, not for the fun, but for the soft skills you're going to develop in leadership and confidence building and tolerating and appreciating other cultures and things like that. But certainly we're prepared to talk to you about any aspect of this decision, whether it's your budget and concerns about how you're going to finance this program, to maybe concerns about your identity and whether services you might need abroad would be there for you, or how you might be received in a host community. We also want you to make the most of the time outside of the classroom. So on ISA programs, we have quite an array of excursions and activities both in your host city and around your host country that are included in the program fee, and that are set up thoughtfully by our on-site staff to really give you insights and access to aspects of this place that you wouldn't be able to experience on your own. So, a lot of that we didn't touch on here, but if you dig into program details and want to look at specific sites, we can talk to you about things like excursions, housing options, and the rest.
no questions. The quiet group. If anyone has any specific questions about some of those things that Mark just asked, we're happy to talk about it. Housing, what does that look like? If you go to a certain location, we're happy to talk about. You probably have questions about COVID. We can chat about that. Definitely don't be afraid to put them in the chat.
One thing that I'll emphasize is, there's an array of program choices out there. I think one of the benefits to going on a program like the ISA model is you are both part of a group. Often that group has other ASU students in it, so there's something familiar and comfortable with that. Maybe these are the people that you'll end up traveling with on weekends and whatnot. But you'll make incredible friendships on the program. But many of you want to get out of that American bubble and that environment, and that's something else we're encouraging and we're fostering by the design of the program. We want you to have the safety nets and the services should you want to avail yourselves of them, but we also hope that you find some independence and meet locals, and we're going to facilitate that too. We want you to find the right balance for you and having the comfort of of a program with fellow U.S. college students, often including other Sun Devils, but also the freedom in your day outside of classes to do the things that you want to do, to explore the things you want to do. And our staff on site is going to be there to facilitate that, to be a sympathetic ear. Should you get sick, they're going to help set up a doctor's appointment with an English-speaking doctor for you, or take you to the pharmacy, or visit you in your apartment. In many of our sites, we offer as many housing options as we can that we find to be up to standards and what you would like to see on site, and that comes in the form of apartments, of dorms, as well as homestays. So we can talk through kind of the different features of all those when you're narrowing down your program choice, and make sure you know where you stand on those options.
Dylan, I dropped a link in the chat there that will take you to our Choosing a Program page that really will walk you through a number of questions related to academics, location, timing, housing, cost, that will help you to frame all of your considerations in choosing a study abroad program, as well as the link that was dropped in right before that provides a guide for study abroad by majors. Now, we certainly don't have all majors represented. ASU has quite the list of majors that we are working through as quick as we can, but hopefully we'll find your major there. And if not, reaching out to our office is a great way to really get started. We have a team of peer advisors that are available for meetings, as well as you hone in on either location or with our faculty-led programs, your unit, to be able to meet with staff in our office as well. Good question. It's overwhelming. I know we have many programs on our website.
And I'm going to put some links in there too. So if you want, you're welcome to schedule a quick advising session with me. So I just put a link in there. You can follow that and we can chat about anything you'd like. Otherwise, that link right there is our program finder. So you can filter on our website really easily through, through the type of term that you might want to study with, the area that you want to study with, destination, language, city size, interest. Maybe you want to go somewhere that has skiing, because that's an important thing for you. Well, there are other places in the world where skiing is a possibility. So definitely use our program finder. It'll kind of help narrow down some of those things as well.
For those of you who aren't quite at that stage and just want to kind of see what it's like in some of these sites, hear from students who've gone before you. I've just thrown a link to our YouTube channel in the chat. This is going to have videos that students took of their time abroad. It's going to have some of our vloggers entries on there. There's some things we call the tiny travel stories, which are just 1 minute little snapshots of some of the sites in which we operate our programs. So check it out.
I think, connecting with somebody both from ISA and ASU are great places to start. And then also, if you do have, maybe you're thinking of spring 2022, that's a long time out. You have a lot of time to research and look through programs. So that's another recommendation, is just to look and just start researching. You have plenty of time to do it, and chatting with people from ISA or ISU will kind of help you at least get on the right track. But I think researching on your own a little bit is also a good place to start.
All right, well, it sounds like if there are questions, you're not quite ready to pose them yet, or you've just got a lot to digest here. So Barbara, I don't know if you'd like us to stick around on the line. We'd be more than happy to do so and just see if there's other questions, or if you think it's time that we adjourn and let them kind of check out the other resources, whatever you prefer.
I'm happy to stick around.
We've got a question now.
Yeah.
How do programs with service learning work? So you've got to look at which programs are approved by ASU. We do offer both standalone service learning programs as well as the ability to combine a service learning program with a study abroad program where you're taking courses at a host university. And both of those are supported by ISA on-site staff. And we match students with service learning placements based on their interests. And at the same time, what are the needs and the interests of our host communities and our partners in these host communities? We've got service learning placements across many, many majors and disciplines, and many different placement types, from social service organizations to orphanages to community co-ops, to incubators for new businesses and entrepreneurship, to democratic media, to all sorts of different placements. And sometimes we'll have one student in an organization in a given semester. Sometimes we'll have 4. It just depends on the needs of that organization and how we can match those up to what your learning objectives and goals are for the service learning experience. We have to approach service learning with that kind of cultural sensitivity so that it's not as if we're coming there holier than thou, ready to distill our knowledge, but to help out and learn at the same time. Part of what we do is also give a stipend to each student to help with their setup costs, be that laboratory equipment or the right kind of lab coat or materials they may need for the classroom or whatever the case may be. And we also have funds that could be put towards whatever are the needs of that organization at the same time. Outside of the service learning experience, one is still enjoying their free time in the rest of the day and also availing themselves of the other features and services of our program. They're still getting choices of the type of housing they'd want. There's still excursions and meetups. And our service learning students can pursue it for credit. Some just do it for the experience, and others will do it from a range of 1 to 6 credits, depending on how many hours they'd like to commit to for the service learning component. Alex just threw a link on the website to the service learning page specifically, so there's a lot more details on there, which I would encourage you to check out.
Yeah, I mean, if there aren't any more questions, like Mark said, I mean, I'm okay adjourning, but I'll stay on. I can stay on for the remainder of the hour and just sit here. And if there are questions that you didn't want to ask, with the whole group here, and you'd rather do it with a smaller group, I'm happy to just stay here and hang out and chat that way.
Very good. That sounds good, Alex. I wish we could see you face to face. I always love coming to the ASU Expo, and in the future we will do that again. In the meantime, though, thanks for joining us virtually. And if you hop on the website and that triggers questions, Alex is going to be here for the remainder of the hour. And don't feel hesitant to reach out to me either, or anyone else at ISA. We're here to help you all along the path. And it's good to see you, Barbara. And thanks all for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.